Hey, John here again. So what you're looking at is a DVR to a security camera system. If you're wondering if you could do this yourself, I'm here to tell you yes, this is easy stuff. So I just wanted to show, well, it's pulled out right now. I got a few things going on, but I just wanted to show a few things that I've done and maybe give some tips or pointers in case this is your first time. I think the hardest part of this whole app, installing this is running the wires. Other than that, this thing is plug and play. You turn it on, you hook up cameras, you can turn it on, and you just follow the prompts. I mean, it's literally that easy. So let me go around and show you what I've done. So I've got this desk pulled forward a little bit, but I ran everything in the back there. Well, I'd have to get a light, but through a hole in the wall. I just got everything pulled out just because I'm doing some extra cameras. This DVR here is new. Well, let me go show you the old one first. So this is the old security system. It's got dust on it now, but Zmoto, that was the company. I forgot how much this cost. It was relatively cheap. I think $100 or something. You get 4 cameras with it, or 8 cameras, I think. Now it came with 4 cameras, and it might have come with 8. I'm not sure. But usually when you buy a DVR, no matter how many channels there are, if there's 8 channels, you're probably going to get 4 cameras. If there's 16 channels, you're probably going to get 8 cameras. I don't know why they do that, but so this company, it worked well for 10, 15 years, and then all of a sudden it started, you know, this machine needed to reset it every now and then it got to be like every other week, and then it got to be stop working. And I was using an old computer screen for that, and that you can't use for new systems. For some reason it talked to this, but that's probably from a I don't know, 2000 maybe computer, maybe 20-year-old computer, and now it's a VGA hookup. It worked fine with this, but no good. So let me show you what I got new and then go from there. So I picked this, I guess you pronounce it Smonet. This thing cost a couple $100. It's a 16 channel deal, and I bought some extra cameras because I didn't have 16 cameras. I had 8, so I bought well, obviously 8 more, but the yellow ones are the yellow leads are the old wires that I had, and the blue ones are the new ones. So anyways, I just wanted to go over and show you how easy this is. Now what I've done here is I've labeled everything, because if you need to track down something, it's kind of hard to find out what wires go to what, because they all kind of sneak back through here, and you know, and then when you start running wires, there's no way you're going to know where everything is. So I do label them on this end and on the other end to the camera, so you know, at least I can find, like if I have to unplug one, you know, I know what I'm dealing with. If one of these go out for whatever reason and needs a reset, I can immediately, you know, just find the label. So it's out right now. I got to tuck that back in, but I just got done doing 2 cameras outside. I've got only 3 cameras inside because you basically want them outside, or at least I did. And so let me go around and show you how I ran the wires and what I did. Maybe I'll give you a few tips, help you out in that aspect. Okay, so every home is different, obviously. So this is what I've got. I've got just basically a hole in the wall on the back side, and I've got all the wires running from the back of the DVR and all the plugs that it needs to have for, you know, your power, running through the back of this wall, and then from there it gets branched out to various places. Now you can opt for the you know, the what do you call it, the Wi-Fi version where it's not hardwired. I prefer the hardwired one, not only because it's cheaper for the hardwired ones, but I just think it's more secure. I don't know, I guess anybody can hack into this. It is over the internet. But the Wi-Fi, just you know, you got that whole interference thing sometimes. Well, you know, Wi-Fi. Anyways, so let me go around and show you. I mean, let me get back to this. Let me show you some of the connections that I've made through the walls, and maybe give somebody a couple pointers on if you're wondering how to run wire in certain locations without it being like exposed. Before I show you around, so the monitor doesn't come with the system I bought, so I had to buy another monitor. Like I said, that other monitor, it just wouldn't talk to this newer technology. So, and it can use a VGA cord, but I'm using the HDMI cord. I hooked it up to the old monitor. It said it didn't recognize it. So, like I said, this is plug and play. It's not, you don't have to be a nerd or anything. This is really easy to do. So all this mess here might look confusing, but basically all it is this. So this is a power source, and it converts AC to DC. These run off of DC, and I can't read that. 12 volt DC at around 2 amps. So this is, when you buy cameras separately, if you buy 4 cameras, you're going to get a power supply, and this little branch here, this plugs into this. Then you've got four cameras that you can hook up. This is one set of wire, so you would just plug in this fella here to one. I mean, it's just really simple stuff. And then, of course, one camera gets plugged in. Let me set this camera down. Hold on a second. Alright, so this is basically the setup. This is an old camera from the old Z-Moto. It still works, but so you have one connection going to, you know, your oops, wrong end. There's male and female. One connection going to your wire. This is like really easy to do, so I'm just explaining it really quick. And then one goes to power, and then you have so you plug this in the wall. Now you got 4 cameras you can operate with, and this goes into the back of your DVR. Okay, so all them wires back there, that's all this stuff is from here, and then your wire goes to wherever you're going to lead it to your camera. So that's how easy it is. So like I said, the hardest part is running this wire to the camera location. And they have, I'll show you in a second. So if this wire isn't long enough, which in most cases it is, but if it isn't wiring long enough, you can link them together. They have, let me go get it, I'll show you. So this is another wire. So let's say you had a big run to do. You can get these on Amazon for, I think I bought a box of 30 for $7. Dirt cheap. So then you go video to video, right? And you can extend your wires. And then obviously now you just have a longer wire. Now you can splice these. They're really easy to splice. Maybe I'll show that. It's just 4 wires, but you can share powers and grounds. Hence this thing. You know, this is a 1 going into 4 cameras for power and ground. But you can well, I'll show you that in a second. But I just wanted to point out these are the components. This is the hardest part of the job, is running these. The DVR, you really don't have to worry about that sucker. Like I said, once you plug it in, once you do all your cameras, hook all your cameras up, and plug it in, it's just follow the, whatever it says to do. It's that easy. You don't have to know anything about it. Is what I'm getting at. It comes with a little mouse that you just click along, go along, and the directions are really easy. I don't even know what they are, but so let me go around and show you how I ran some wires to see, to hide them. Maybe give some tips on what to do if you're in a pickle, as far as you want a camera somewhere, but you're like, well, how am I going to run this wire? So let me show you what I did. So I had an idea on where I wanted the camera as far as entrances, doorways, driveways, that kind of thing. This guy here is all fuzzy because it's using an existing underground wire that I did like 15 years ago, so I'm going to have to get to the bottom of that, find out where the interference is coming from. Oddly enough, when it rains, this clears up, so it's got to be some kind of where they're connected together, I'm guessing, but it's in a conduit underground. It's going to be hard to find. I might just run a new one, I don't know, but I'm not worried about that right now because you can see it. It's just it's dark in there. But so let me go and show you where these cameras are. They're kind of, I wanted to put them in a location where they weren't conspicuous. Some of them I did want conspicuous in case somebody pulls down your driveway. Oh crap, there's security camera, as a deterrent. But let me go show you around. Okay, so the placement of your DVR and your monitor is kind of going to dictate, where you can run wires or whatever. So this is the back side of the office where these wires come through the back side of the wall, and this is just junk here stored in here. But let me get in here. So you can see that all the wires come out and they go up and run along the back side of this wall and go to various places. So that's kind of like I was saying, this is what takes the longest to run the wires. Other than that, this is a no-brainer. It's really easy to do. So if this looks easy enough to you, and you can do this for sure. So let me go show you where these lead to give you some ideas. So it comes around the back side of this, and like I said, a basement is kind of ideal because you can poke it through basically anywhere you want, and I have multiple levels here, and I'll show you. So I just kind of ran it to some wires go that way and some run along this beam here and go towards the back of the house and also towards the front of the house, and then they branch up, go up. Like I said, a basement is ideal. That's why my DVR is in the basement in the office there, but I thought about originally putting it upstairs to hold on a second. Alright, so originally I thought about putting you know, the DVR down here somewhere with the router and this little under this breakfast nook kind of like little hidden spot, but it wasn't going to work out just because there's no place for a monitor. I didn't want to clutter things up, so that's why it's downstairs. But it works out better because I'll show you why. Alright, so we're back downstairs. So these are some of the wires going out towards this way, towards the garage. Now I did have to notch that beam out because this house is just full of angles, not one straight 90-degree wall. So I've got a bunch of them that I drilled a hole through here. It comes up, and I'll show you where it comes up. But this is kind of what you're going to have to do. If you have a basement, it's going to work out good because you know, I could have snuck it under this beam if I didn't have to cut it, but it was kind of hard to find it. So you'd need a snake, right? And I drilled a hole. I don't know if you can see where all the wires are going up there, and I'll show you where it came out. Alright, so we're one level up, and comes into this kind of a mudroom laundry deal. Turn this light on. So where that hole was, and I've got everything hidden now. Let me see if I can open this door a little bit more. So you can't see it from there, but you know, I took up this this threshold here and I added that, but the wires are behind this fellow here. So the hole, you might be able to see just a little bit of it there. And let me try to just give you an idea. Now you can't see it, but I kind of hid everything the best I could, and there's some of the wires there. So I've got basically 4 or 5 wires to 4 or 5 cameras, and that's how I hit it that way. And it goes up into that hole there and goes into the ceiling. Now from there, hold on, I'll show you in a sec. Goes outside to this garage out here, and a bunch of wires come out. There's one camera there for stay buddy. I got one camera there, and the rest of the wires I traced along. I just stapled them up there on the top. I think there's 3 or 4 cameras on this line, or you know, a bunch of them, and one of them goes in the corner over here. I think there's, let me go look. Yeah, see, I've got one here and one here, opposite, facing each other. Watch the gate, the back property, and this will watch the forward driveway. And I think there's one up here. Yeah, so one up here that watches this front part of the driveway, and I believe there's one on the back side here to watch the deck as far as the entrance go, right there. So like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, 5 cameras I took care of just going from the basement to here. I've got 5 placement cameras, so that's what I'm saying. You run the wire. Now I'll show you how to run the wire, a good way to run a wire. You can't, because those things are, you'd need a 3/4 inch hole, and then you can only fit so many wires or so many barrels through that hole. So you're going to have to splice. I'll show you in a second, but so that's where I'm at with that. So let me show you some other ideas. Alright, so we're back in the basement, and that's where those were going for those cameras, and then these take a turn this way. And like I said, the hardest part of this is just running wires. Then I then going up here, followed across, just basically the shortest route I could take, and you know, to get to where I want cameras. So this is leading outdoors, and we'll go outdoors in a second. I wanted a couple cameras out front, and there's a camera on the porch out front. So I forgot where the hell. Oh, so they're here, and then okay, so that's a splice I made. That's looks like two sets of cameras. I had to splice the wires together because when you run it, well, let me go outside and show you. All right, so coming outside, so these wires here going up right here, they're painted. Those were old cameras. and you know, that's how I did it on the outside. So I, you know, basically came through, poked it out from the basement, ran it up here, and there's also a cable wire for that fella up there. I ran a few years back, an HD antenna. But like I said, I ran up here, and that's where this camera gets its power and ground from. And then you can see another camera, and no, that might be a cable. Yeah, I'm already confused because these are old. And that's a new camera, part of the new system. But so that's one camera, but I wanted two up by the road, right? So here's how I did that. And just again drilled a hole out of there. Bodie, what are you doing? Drilled a hole out of there, ran some conduit, and just a short run to this this box here for your irrigation. And then originally I had used irrigation wire because I had a 7-wire. Where the hell is it? Right here. See, I had this deal and I had extra wires, and I think I stated before, you can share powers and grounds, so you need. Oh, I gotta charge this battery pack. Hold on a second. Alright, I had to switch cameras because obviously every time you need a battery there's not one available. So like I said, ran it out from that conduit. The conduit runs over here, and that's the conduit underground. So you got your wires coming. Oh, I think what I was saying, I was going to use because you can share powers and grounds, and I had 1, 2, 3, I think there was 5 wires. Well, 4 wires, doesn't matter. You can use one for video, and then power and ground. So each one has I don't want to confuse you, but this is a video. It has a video wire. See how there's 2 wires? It has a video wire and a ground. Same with the power. It has a power and a ground. So you can share powers and ground if you come into a pickle where you need to join them together. So you'd have one on a video, another on a video, and then they would all share powers and grounds. So originally I was going to do that, but I didn't have enough wire because of where it was going, where I wanted to go, way up front, and I settled on something else. So, not to confuse you, back to the BNC connection. This is from the basement, and this is ran, I'll show you where. It goes into this 1-inch tube, because this is a 3/4 inch tube up here, but I had spliced it in the basement, that one connection I showed you with the splices, so that way you can, when you snake your snake through here, you can grab the wires and run them through a 3/4 inch pipe, because otherwise this mess ain't gonna fit through there, obviously. But the 1-inch pipe, if you do one at a time, you can you don't have to splice. You can use your BNC connectors, and then just tape up everything, because this is a wet location here. So so let me show you where I went this way to get up towards the road, just because I wanted cameras up that way. So I just took a shovel and trenched my way, and grass ain't grown in yet, but up towards that pole. So let's go over there and take a peek. This was, I think, last week, so the grass is actually grown in, oddly enough. Get up here. So I wanted these 2 cameras on this light pole, using an existing light pole. I wanted them up there on that light pole up there, but like I said, I was going to use the irrigation wires. They just didn't go far enough, because I have sprinklers up there. The wires, I just, you know, so I ended up doing it my own trench here with the conduit, and I was going to put a conduit here where it comes out of the ground, but I just taped up the wires. They're not underground wires, but I taped up everything, so where it comes out of the conduit, I kind of stuffed it with that foam stuff, you know, for windows and stuff, so seal that in. This is the only part that's exposed. Then I got it going into here, and I snaked it up the pole, and there's 2 stealth cameras. They were wired. I painted them black, so you get a forward look at your driveway, and if somebody tries to sneak past going this way, you get that. So that came out all right. So that's an idea. And this pole, this is actually ABS plastic. I just added that because the original pole was metal, which when I drilled a hole, I just gummed it up a little bit. So I had to cover it with something that looked more pleasing. This is plastic on plastic, threaded threaded into there. So, and then ran the wires just because, like I said, I had my drill. It just kind of messed things up, so I had to redo it. That's why it's thicker here, but it didn't come out too bad. So that's one option. Let me go show you, or one thing you can do if you have an existing lamp, or if you want to go outdoors somewhere, you got to run the stuff underground. I would recommend putting it in conduit and taping everything, all the joints, just because, like I said, that's not exactly underground wire. And the reason I say that one, let me go over here and show you. Hold on a second. Okay, so that one connection, or the one picture that was interference, I ran that wire like 15 years ago, and that comes out of here and goes underground. It's been there a long time, and it runs on the outside of the fence through the woods there, and goes back to that detached garage. So somewhere along the line, there's interference coming in, and like I said, when it gets wet, it gets better. So I'm sure it's a connection somewhere, but I'm not going to dig everything up. I might run another wire one day. I don't know, do something different. Just maybe, I don't know, wire it to the fence or something because it goes back there. I don't know. I'll tackle that some other time. So on the other side, oh, here's another wire. This is an old wire too. See, in the basement, drilled out through the basement. Of course, that's all sealed up now, but then going up here, right, going up and then sneaking it back around. Of course, it's painted. You can make it out. It's that line, and then that I got a leaf blower out here. Hold on a second. So it goes back inside to an interior camera. So let me go back downstairs. Hold on a second. Alright, so here's another camera inside for the Bilco doors in case somebody tries to, come through your Bilco doors. I got a camera set up pointing, behind it. But that's where we just were outside. That conduit coming in. There's a networking wire there too, but those wires coming out of there, you can see one under the conduit. That's the one that goes up. I'll show you in a second. But then they go into that conduit, and they've been there 15 years. So I got a problem somewhere on that one connection, and I already looked at these connections. That's what's taped up there. But so I think it's underground somewhere where I have a bad wire. But again, I'm not going to run, I'll run new wire. I'm not going to try to rip everything apart and find that. And it's doing okay for now. So one other thing I could show you how you might be able to sneak a wire. Let me go upstairs, show you that. Okay, so here's another an idea I had. So this is a camera up here. I only have 3 of them inside, and these kind of watch like doors, front doors, or whatever. So I ended up cutting a hole in the sheetrock. Yeah, obviously I missed some paint there. But again, that's like 10-15 years old. So I came through from the basement up and was able to grab, put my snake down through the hole. Of course, I covered everything up. I can't believe I missed that paint. And then also did a hole up here. So, basically the wire runs down. It was a little problematic because of the insulation, but I was able to get the snake down there, grab it from the basement, get it there. So if you don't want to make holes in your wall, you're gonna have to figure something else out. And frankly, you might not even want, cameras in the interior. But the 3 that I have inside are just common space. They're not, bedrooms or nothing. So that's another one. That's a new camera. I took the old camera down, and so that's one way to do it. Come up from the basement that way. Let me show you one more. I think it's well, I was gonna do. I think. Here, let me see. I think it's outside here. Yeah. So this one, what I end up doing is, you can see the wire. Where the hell's the wire? Oh yeah. So it goes this way, and I ended up coming down. It pokes through behind the speaker. It pokes through into, that's the garage there, and that's how I ran the one wire. So as long as you got overhead space or like a basement, and you have access to like an attic or whatever, you can kind of, instead of having wires exposed, they're exposed on the outside here, but once you paint them, and some of them are speaker wires, but so that's how you can hide wires on that side. Let me show you one more. But there's one over here on this corner up here. All right, so obviously there's no wire there, So what I ended up doing is I took a long drill and went through, somebody needs to clean in here, went through this whole soffit, and let me show you where it came out. Came out on the other side here. See it there? So that back in the garage. So you're kind of getting the idea on how, you know, you can run stuff. As long as you have access to stuff that is, you know, I just didn't want wires hanging around in the house or outside. I wanted everything hidden. So that may be a few ideas, on, you know, and that runs over and then goes back down the other side of this wall and the laundry room there and into the basement. Maybe one more, I'll show you. Hold on. I do want to show you one in the garage, but I do want to, so if you need to get to like a third floor, or if you have higher floors, how you can do that, like I'm not going to put anything up here because there are bedrooms up there, but you can run it on the outside. You can come through your basement, through the hole, run it along, you know, if you got siding, whatever, tuck it in to the, you know, corner, you know, post there, and then come through somewhere. It's what I did. Hold on, let me go show you what I did. Hold on. I don't have my light with me, but it's what I did with a cable. You can barely see it. It's bad lighting here. So I ran it outside the house, from the basement, outside the house, tucked it into the corner beam, and then poked it out through here, and then the cable runs, you know, so you have cable up here, and I ended up running it, well, it goes into bedrooms, but, so you're getting the point there. Let me go back and show you the one outside. All right, so that's, this is, we're outside in another garage out back, and that's another camera that I decided to have to point at this driveway, you know, coming from up there. And I do want a camera on the outside of this garage facing the house that way, just for security reasons. But here's where that wire comes in. It went along and through the woods here, and it came, the one that's got interference, and I don't know why. And it's, well, one of those is electric, and one of them's the wire. Let me take you inside. Hold on a second. I'll show you what I did for that one camera on the front part there. So it came in, yeah, again, no light anywhere. That's another conduit. It comes through there, and I have a network wire and a camera wire, BNC camera wire. Probably see a little better there. So you got the network wire and the this wire, which is, like I said, 15 years old. So it snuck up there, and I cut it here because I needed to find out if the connection was underground. So I cut it, you know, at the house, and I cut it here and hooked up a camera at the house and here. And there's no interference at the house, and there's interference here. So it means, you know, there's, you know, from here back underground somewhere, there's that wire screwed up somewhere. So I'll address that. But in the meantime, the camera that I have on the corner over there, I used a networking wire because I originally, when I built this garage, I put that wire there thinking I would have a computer out here, or, you know, internet, but my Wi-Fi goes that far, so I never used this wire. But what I did use it for is, you could follow along, but, you know, I have it coming down. This is the other wire that I cut. This is the original 15-year-old wire. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find where the connection is goofy. So this network wire, I snaked it over that way to the other corner over there, and it doesn't matter. A wire is a wire, right? So all you need is, let's see what we got here. All right, so this is a three connect. It's just 3 wires, but they are 4, so they share a ground when it gets back. I guess I'll go show you how to wire, whether it's a 3 wire or 4 wire. It's really simple to do, but I used a network wire and it worked out well for that camera. This camera here, this is the one with the interference. I'm going to relocate that outside, but I'm probably going to have to run another wire because I can't find out where the interference is coming from. It used to work, now it doesn't, so I'm assuming it's underground somewhere. So let me go show you how to do a splice. Really easy to do. Yes, I just want to locate that inside camera on the outside here, just to face it towards the house or the driveway or something coming this way. It does me no purpose on the inside of the garage. So let me go up. I want to show you how to make a splice. It's really simple to do, and And that's basically, so these cameras are cheap, right? This is only a $200-300 system. You know, it doesn't have pan capability, zoom or whatever. It's just basic stuff. But if you've never done one before, it's plug and play, other than what I'm showing you here. The wiring is the hardest part. So let me go in and show you that. Alright, so let me go over splicing this. So I just clipped this here. This is a 4-wire, and this is a 3-wire. But so this is a power source. It's 120 volts. It converts the output to 12 volts, a 2-amp deal, right? And you plug, I think I pointed out earlier. So one plug powers 4 cameras, right? So powers and grounds to 4 cameras. So it's sharing powers the grounds, powering one of these, powering 4. So it's no big deal to share powers and grounds if you're going to use an alternate wire, or you know, you're trying to snake something through that you can't get enough wires for 4 cameras. You can pile them all up on powers and grounds and use 4 cameras would be 1, 2, 3, 4 wires, 6. It'd be 6 wires instead of 12 or whatever it is. So the point I'm making is I just want to show how easy it is to splice this stuff. So, and the reason you would want to do that, especially like this 3-wire deal, see how small that wire is. So if you're poking through siding, or you know, somewhere you want to be inconspicuous, you can drill a little 1/8-inch hole and feed this through, and then seal it that way, as opposed to trying to, you know, drill a 3/4-inch hole or whatever you need to, because you would, whatever this is, maybe 5/8, sneak this through and then this through, but you're only going to get one of those through a big hole like that. So if you need to run multiple wires like I did, even a you know, whatever 1/4-inch hole, you can send several of these wires through, and then you get to the other side, and here's how you splice. Really simple to do. So this is a newer wire, the 4-wire deal. Again, the 3 wires, the same idea, that again, they share power and ground. So you just strip them back, whatever you want to use, your teeth, doesn't matter. See how there's 2 in here? I don't know if you can see that. There's 2 there. I'm using, my camera died, I can't zoom in. So there's 2 where it's power, ground, right? And then this one is a braided wire, and it's kind of like a coax wire. So you just kind of separate the you know, like a cable wire, and then just kind of wind that together. And this would be like a cable wire. You're also going to have to strip that. I don't know if you can see that again. There's a little, now you got 2 wires here, right? That's the video signal, that's a ground. Here's a power and a ground. You would have to strip that. Well, it doesn't matter, just for, so there's one. So that's power. You need power. This is for 1 camera. There's a ground. So to share powers and grounds, so where's the this wire has the same thing. You would do the same exact thing and connect them. So if you needed to shorten this wire, you strip this, do the same exact thing, hook red to red, black to black. But if you have a 3-wire, here's how you get around that. So how this is going, the reason it's 3-wire, it's actually 4. There's 2 wires, power and ground, 2 wires, the video signal and a ground. But then when it gets to this junction, if you have a little wire like this, a 3-wire, the actual junction is in here in this little thing, but this wire is shot. So when you strip this fella, it looks a little different. 3-wire deal. Again, I don't know if this is coming out on this camera. So now you have your little strands of wire, and that's the ground, right? And whatever, you know, there's a little pull wire. This little white thing is just a strand that, if you're pulling wire, just for rigidity. So there's your signal wire, and there's your power. So all you have is 1 common ground. This is if you're going from 3 to 4. Strip this little fella. All right, so 3 wires. video is the yellow, red is obviously power, and then a ground. Let me get rid of this thing. Looks a little confusing. This white thing is just a fiber. It's not a wire. All right, so this is the 4-wire, right? So obviously red is the power. You would splice this together, whatever you're using, connectors or tape or however you're going to do it. Shrink wrap, heat shrink stuff. So you would go red to red, right? And this one is a white, the video wire, and it's yellow here. So those two would go together. And then the grounds. That's how you go 3 to 4. So, like I said, really simple to do. That's the 3-wire to the 4-wire. It's just sharing the 2 grounds. So that's that. And if you wanted to share, let's say you had a 7-wire deal like that sprinkler system I was saying. There's 7 wires and 1 wire. You can literally share powers and grounds for 4 cameras and just have 4 video connections. That's 4 wires out of the 7, and share the power and ground. That's 2 more, so you'd have an extra wire. If you follow what I'm saying, the powers and grounds, the grounds can be together, the powers can be together. The only thing you need about I don't want to confuse anybody, but is the video signal. One video signal here. This is just 1 camera. So you got the video signal on this white guy. Then you have a power and a ground for this fella, and this is a ground for your video signal. So if you share powers and grounds, all you need is this separate video signal. I don't know if I'm making that clear. It sounds confusing when I'm saying it, but that's how you would get around that. So the wiring is, like I said, the hardest part. As far as this ain't hard. This is easy, especially 4 to 4, 3 to 4. I'm talking about the routing of it. Getting your wire to your camera is basically going to take you the time involved. This part over here with the DVR and hooking all that up, let me show you that right quick. Yeah, so once you got everything, like I said, I labeled everything. Once you got everything labeled, then it's just a matter, and it really doesn't matter where you plug them in, unless you want to do some kind of sequence, you know, where your cameras are, then you'd have to pay attention. But you just plug them in. Video. These are all videos. The yellow and blue are all videos, and these are all powers and grounds. All the red, these are the 4 and the 1. See, this is a power. It's plugged in somewhere behind that desk here. That's another power. So that's 8 cameras, and then there's 2 up here. So 16 cameras. But you only have 4 powers and grounds. So I hope that's making sense. I got to tuck all this stuff back in and clean everything up, but I'm basically done here, other than trying to locate what this bad wire is, or I'll probably run a new one. That's how easy it is. Running a wire is the hardest part, and I say it's hard. It's not hard. It's just the time-consuming part. Let's put it to you that way. The time-consuming part is running the wire. This stuff here, this is the icing on the cake. So if you've never done this before and you're a little bit worried about wiring and stuff, that's how easy it is. This, you literally turn a power on, and it let's see if I can get something to come up here. So you turn, it's got a mouse with it. You turn a power on, and then there it is over there. Main menu. You got to log in, do all this stuff. It basically tells you what to do, the instructions. So I'm not going to log in, but wherever you put your mouse, this thing kind of just follows you around. So you can change things like view 4 cameras, you know, camera, whatever, whichever ones you want, 1 through 5, or, you know, it is really simple to figure out. View 1 camera, let's say, see, I got them all listed. Let's say driveway, where is it? Driveway front? Driveway front. See, that's, well, that's not the one I wanted. 1 camera, driveway. I guess I got it listed different. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. It's really easy to do. It's really easy to hook up. These are those, right here where this mouse is. Those are the two hidden cameras. Look, there's a squirrel. So that's how easy it is. It is very simple to do. So I hope this helps somebody out if they're wondering, oh, man, I wonder if I can hook up my own surveillance camera system. Yeah, absolutely. You just have to know a little bit about, you know, how you're going to get the wires run. If you have a Wi-Fi, all the cameras on Wi-Fi, that's a no-brainer. This stuff here, you don't even really need to worry about hooking that up, plugging it in. This, what you do need a monitor. Some camera systems come with a monitor. I had to buy this, but as soon as you plug it in, you plug this in, HDMI to that thing. Once everything's hooked up and turned on, it starts asking you questions, and you just follow along. So there's nothing in, you know, no need to worry about the whole, I wonder how you program this thing. It's not like that. Really simple to do. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching.